Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a like, subscribe to my channel. This is a what if series and I'll be doing more down the road. Plus Ultra!
Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new What If series entitled What If I Was in Akame Got Killed? What if Black All Might was in Akame Got Killed? And the character description I'm going to use for my style of how I see my character in Akame Got Killed, I don't see my character as being someone who's weak. And I don't see my character as being a scumbag, evil prick that kills people just for the fun of it or something like that. I don't see my character doing none of those things. And I'm going to keep in theme of my character that I like is All Might, but I'm not gonna be all the way like All Might. Forget like being like the symbol of peace. Yes, I'm gonna create like that symbol of peace, but I'm the black version of All Might. So in this series, I urge you, if you do not like blood, gore, or any kind of verbal and like cursing or stuff like that, it's going to be a lot of that in this series, as I do want to intend to leave, like when I make these series that are going down this kind of path, I will let my viewers know what they're getting into. Now with character description, imagine this guy is me, and in the world of Okime got killed. So as for the hobbies and stuff like that, I like to train, I like to work hard, I like to fight stronger opponents. Even if the odds are stacked against me, I get heavily excited as the battle continues and goes thus far. I enjoy food. Well, I like to eat food a lot, possibly too much. Anyway, I like to eat food, and I love seeing the good in people. I always try to make as many friends as I can, as I feel that the more friends you have, the closer, well, the more people you might have to protect, or like the ideal knowledge that might get around that people see you as a great person. My aspects is to become a captain or a general for the empire, and this is given status. I'm going to go by the rules. I don't know anything of the empire. I don't know the corruption or anything like that. I'm blinded, like I'm entering this world blinded. So with that, I trained with my father Ken for at least up until I was like 18 years old. So for I were when I was born, I was like 4 years old when I first started my training. So about 14 years into some pretty hard and heavy training, I have became a master martial artist. I went around testing out my abilities and everything in my village, and my village is the name of hope. We provide hope for our people, and it's said it in our training because various amounts of us do different training. So I've always won battles, and there's never been one person I couldn't beat. Like literally, in a battle, I get cocky enough to taunt the person, saying, "Is that all you got? You know, this is a lame excuse for you to join a karate tournament. Due to your weak personality, I don't think you would ever win one." Yes, that's kind of the person he is when he's trying to fight. You will see a whole personality shift when it's time to fight. Become like a Conor McGregor just teasing you. Anyway, so as that continues about our village name being Hope, I would often win battles that I've often faced, and it's never been a challenger to overcome me or beat me except for my mother and father. And that's it. Necessarily, I'm the only child, but I have my friends to make up for it, and it's Seiyu, Layatsu, and Tatsumi. I grew up with them ever since I was like 4 years old, and we often trained together, with Tatsumi always calling out or just working on swordsmanship. I don't think he ever liked it putting in too much hard work. And Layatsu, I think he was just more of an adventurer. He just wanted to go on adventuring and stuff like that. And Seiyu, I guess she just was a girl who just looked out for us, sort of like a medic, if you get that much. She showed great medical skills. And she wanted to become a medic for the Empire. Layatsu just wanted to become an adventurer and adventure around, the whole like world. And Tatsumi, he had the same ambitions and goal as I did. So Tatsumi wasn't as big and muscular as I am, but he was in shape, put it that way. So he had the same goal as I have, to enlist in the Empire's, well, army. So that's what we set out to do on one day. I was like at the age of 19 years old when I first left the village, along with Tatsumi, Leiatsu, and Seiyu. And Seiyu, however you pronounce her name. So we journeyed on our mission, but we ended up getting separated by some bandits, which I instantly knocked out. They proved to be no problem for me, and it was another asset that I failed to mention. So, my father had this strong imperial arms. It's 49 of these, well, in this sense, it's 48 imperial arms and two different varies of strong imperial arms. First there's these two demon extracts that lives in the world, and one has manipulation over all ice and the other has manipulation over all fire. So I think my father has been holding this chalice, or this like urn, or whatever this thing is, and he told me that one day I'm gonna have to drink the remedy that's inside this thing. And I would ask him why, and he told me, this is your imperial arms. This is what you're training for, my son. I'm gonna have you train hard to harness this power once it's inside your body. And when you reach the age of 10 years old, then that's when you will drink it. So when I reached the age of 10, I drank the remedy that was inside the urn, and all of these voices, all of these headaches in my head were just telling me to burn the village to the ground, kill everyone in sight, just like send the world in flames. And my father put his hand on my shoulder and saying, this is your power. Don't let it consume you. This is what you trained for, right? And I looked at him and said, yeah, you're right. This is my power. This is nothing. And as you see these orange, black, blue, purple, white, and red, you see these like different various amounts of flames just flowing around me as my eyes turned a reddish like look. And I stood up and saying, this is my power and I will control it how I see fit. It does not control me. And I would have this insignia on my left shoulder as a flame. Well, like a flame design. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Anyway, so that's how I got my power of an Imperial Arms Demon Extract, and the name of my Imperial Arms has presented itself into my mind. Yes, I have a manifestation, and the name of my Imperial Arms is Rinjin Jujaku. And if you don't know what Rinjin Jujaku is, look it up. But Rinjin Jujaku is a powerful fucking flame spirit. That's what it is. So, me, Leiatsu, Tatsumi, and Seiyu set out on our journey, but we instantly got separated by some bandits, and that left us a little blinded to the fact that I couldn't find Seiyu or Leiatsu. Even if I tried to search and I would call out the name, I should have got some kind of device where we could communicate. But anyway, so me and Tatsumi ended up going to a town where they had this specific bar. And the bar, Tatsumi was talking to this girl, and he ended up getting swindled out of all our money. Me and his. I don't know why I let him hold my money, but that's just how it's going to play out. So he ended up getting swindled, and I got on his ass about it, or like talked to him about it, by like, dude, are you that much of an idiot that you let her talk you out of all our cash? Now where are we going to sleep? Guess we got to head back to the woods and start a campfire. But first we have to look for Seiyu and Leiatsu. So this girl would instantly approach us saying, do you two have anywhere to stay? And Tatsumi would say no, and I would look at him. What I would look at him suspicious and say, we do need somewhere to stay. This girl seems nice, so we can go to her house, but I shouldn't be too trustworthy. I should just see how this all goes. I shouldn't possibly I shouldn't drink or eat anything because you can never be too cautious. They might be working with those bandits that attacked us earlier. Because I'm already cautious. We already lost money and I'm already agitated. Now I'm cautious because this just mysterious girl comes out of nowhere and offers us to take her home, like take us home with her. So we have a fresh meal, something to drink, and a place to sleep. That sounds a little weird to me. So as we get into the place, I didn't eat much or drink anything. And I watched Tatsumi eat and stuff like that. And I basically said in my hand, okay, Tatsumi is crazy, but if he drops dead, I'll have a reason to kill every last person in his house. Yes, I have a killer instinct. I cannot stand, my character does not like the fact that, like, say for example, if someone is murdered, raped, killed, or hunted down for some game of sport, my character gets furiated with that idea. And just imagine once he find out what the Empire's true goals are and that there's corruption in the Empire and the fact that he wanted to enlist in the Empire's army. Yeah, throw up. Anyway, so as we get to the house, Tatsumi's eating and everything, and I'm looking at him and I'm just wondering, why is he just scarfing down food like that? Just be a little cautious. I instantly hit Tatsumi on the back just for like the fun of it, and Tatsumi yelled at me saying, "Dude, what the hell was that for?" I'm saying, I just looked away and said, "Tis." So we instantly we went to our rooms to go to sleep and everything, but I felt strange, and I felt very, very, very strange. So I left my room and I went searching around the place and stuff like that. And I wanted to go outside for a stroll. That's when the father met me and said, "You shouldn't be up like this. Go to sleep and get some rest. I know you're extremely tired." And I looked at him and said, "Oh no, I'm not tired. But I smell something. Like there's two familiar smells. And I think they're here. You have to excuse me. I guess my father taught me a lot about hunting and how to smell and get used to specific scents around. You can say that's one of the powers that Rinjin Jujaka has gave me, his increased heavy senses. And I smell both of my friends here. So, what room are they in? Are they here? Are they okay?" And the father would say, "I don't know what you're talking about." Oh, wait, so my friends are not here? So they must have left. Well, I think we're gonna go out and find them because it's really dangerous out there. Like, danger beasts will tear you apart, and I don't think they have enough training to handle all that. So the father would get very suspicious of me, and the father would look at me with a look, and then he would start attacking me, trying to throw punches or stuff like that. I was basically dodging him since it was very it was very easy due to the amount of training I had. And I didn't think I went into the fact of telling you my skills and abilities. Okay, I've trained in Muay Thai, I've trained in Jeet Kune Do, Taekwondo, karate, boxing, so all head movements and stuff like that. I've trained and learned those styles of fighting and mastered in all of them. So as he's swinging around, throwing fist after fist, trying to catch me and saying, "Yeah, well, whatever he was trying, he was just so focused, I instantly uppercutted the dad and knocked him out. Literally, uppercutted him and knocked him out. And I just looked at him and said, "Jesus Christ, what's wrong with this guy?" So as I knocked him out, the mother comes out of nowhere throwing a dart or something at me, and it hit my arm, let my guard down just for a second, and I instantly got dizzy, but the effects didn't do what she thought it did. Instead, what it did was make me dizzy and drunk, and this made me stagger a little bit and feel a little bit dizzy. So as she would try to approach me, my hits were coming too fast for her eye to see, and I chin checked her with a good right hook, and she went down to the ground. I'm not killing the parents because I don't even know what they did or their intentions in this place. And the daughter, she stayed hidden. She stayed hidden. She didn't know what kind of power or what she was getting into. She basically thought to herself that if I go out there, he's basically going to knock me out just like he did my mother and father. I should stay back and just see his movements. So I tracked the smell of Leatsu and Seiyu, and it tracked me to a familiar, like, door, like a place, like a outside area. And I see these two guards. They say, "What are you doing here? Shouldn't he be knocked out? Shouldn't they be torturing him right now?" And torturing. These two guards rushed at me saying, "Halt." They tried to, well, stab me or try to get, like, restrain me, but it really didn't work, as, like I told you, in this state, whatever she hit me with is making me dizzy and fuzzy to the point I can barely open my eyes, but at least I can follow the smell to where I'm going. So I instantly knocked both of them out with two kicks, one kick to the head and the other one a body kick and then a blow to the stomach. And they both fell to the ground, grunting before just passing out. So I instantly palmed the door, and the door flew open. And what I seen when I instantly rubbed my eyes, and I seen Seiyu and Leatsu tortured, battered, broken, and bruised up. I screamed. I let out a loud yell that could be heard over the mountains. Tatsumi got out of the bed, and this is Tatsumi's perspective. Tatsumi heard me screaming, so he got out of the bed and ran in the nearest direction of my scream. And then he came there, and he was horrified too to see what was going on, to see what just was in front of our eyes. Our two friends, beaten, cut up. And then I turned around and said, "Who did this? Did these people do this?" You would see these flames emit all over my body, and they weren't your normal flames. It was a state that my dad told me not to go into. It was a state that he told me that once you enter these black flames, well, you already know what kind of flames they are, but once you enter this kind of style, your flames will burn down anything, and it won't stop burning until everything is ashes. That's if you intend it to be that way. Now, as for, I haven't unlocked that kind of necessary power. You already know what that one is called. But the black flames that just spew out of my body, they flicker. I instantly get that kind of reaction before. And say, for example, you see more of bluish, dark indigo, like bluish flames that you see erupt from my body. Because using black flames, okay, that's a bit too much for right now. That's a state that I cannot enter because that's berserk. Black flames is just basically going berserk. You lost all control over yourself and you're just lashing out on everything. So I instantly free Leatsu and Seiyu, and to know that they're still alive. Now, here's the thing about this. Seiyu is an incredible medic. She has these various amounts of healing powers, so at least she was still conscious, and you see this green aura envelop her body, and her wounds and stuff start to heal as Seiyu would instantly wake up, and she would cry and say they did horrible things to us. They tortured us. This little girl, she kept pulling at my hair saying I didn't deserve beautiful, luscious hair like I do. She would beat, punch me, and they would often subject us to various amounts of poisons. Seiyu would cry, but then she would rub her eyes and cheer up and look at me with her tongue out saying, good thing I'm immune to all poisons. And I would rub my head and say, like, put my head down and say, I'm sorry I didn't get here in time. And she would say, it's no big deal. I know you didn't kill them, but you want to, don't you? as Seiyu would stand up and she would go over saying, I need to heal Leatsu. At least bring their bodies here so we can see it. But then, before, me or Tatsumi could get to them, these people got to him. I don't know who these people are, but they got to him before we did. And that made me very, very, very furious. And there was one lady I did recognize, and she's the one that stole Tatsumi's money. So I confronted them saying, well, you people have created 3 sins for yourself. And I looked at them and they say, so what's that? So the first sin, you took the kills that didn't belong to you. The third sin is one of you in this group have taken my money and my friend's money. And the third sin is I want to fight you. So I blindly rushed at the girl that took me and Tatsumi's money, but instantly was subjected by this black-haired girl who had a sword and came inches to cutting my throat, but I dodged it very, very easily. Very easily, and then I came back and headbutted her out of my way and saying, I don't have time to deal with you and your sword. I'm after my money. Now give it back and I won't pin all of you to the ground. So here's the thing. Remember when I said I have these blue-like flames? Okay, these blue-like flames are surrounding my body. So when blue flames come out, not only is his power increased to dramatic levels. Okay, let me tell you this now. I have an imperial arms that's somewhat similar, that's the counterpart to Esdev's ice powers. So basically I have an imperial arms to combat Esdev. When I sent that Paul into like when I wanted you guys to vote on should Esdev stay good or should Esdev be bad and I kill her. I'm glad you voted on her being good because I need a rival that's gonna push both of us to new heights. Just keep pushing, just keep pushing. Because right now he's looking for a battle and he's undefeated and no one has been able to beat him yet. And when Esdev comes into the picture, oh, that's gonna be a good fight scene. Oh my god. Anyway, so as we continue back to the story, Bullock, he say, you're awfully cocky for someone of your stature. You don't even seem all that skilled, and yet you're trying to challenge all of us. Don't you think that's a suicide note? Suicide note. And then in a flash of speed, I was right there in Bullock's face and sent a punch that was so strong that he went flying towards the ground. But he caught his stance, and then all the rest of the Night Raid people started to attack me. So with a good thrust, I unleashed the fire that was inside of me. Like I unleashed it outwards, and with an explosive gust of wind, sent all of them flying outwards. And all you seen was this bluish flame just surrounding my body. And it also made me cocky to the point when I looked at them, I smiled and say, oh, come on. It's how many of you against me? And I would look at saying, come on. The likes of all of you can't beat me. Are you really that weak? You have a spear. You're somewhat of like a tiger. And you have these wires, you have these large scissors, and you down there, you have a sword. And I suppose there's another one. I can smell her. And in a flash of light, like a shoot of light would shoot right past my face, and I would sweat a little bit saying, Jesus, if I was any second later, I would have been killed. And then in that same direction, I would hold my hand like a gun and shoot like a fire blast in that direction. And she dodged it. She dodged it just in time, but I wasn't aiming to kill. I was just aiming to scare whatever was over there away from that direction. I didn't know that would be the girl with the gun. I gotta learn their names for the next part when I release this, when I release like part 2 in the near future. And if you guys get the like goal up there, the like goal will be somewhere around at least 50 likes. If you get past that, I will release part 2 to this, and then I will release I'm also gonna release part 2 to Spider-Man, and I'm also gonna release part 2 to a lot of other what ifs. So don't worry, there's a lot of other new things coming. Anyway. So as she shot the like blinding speed, and I shot over there with a huge fire blast. Well, not a huge fire blast. It was just a small fire blast, like just to get her from over there. And I said, whatever's over there is annoying. Run away, little birdie, like you are. And when she would run, she wouldn't hear me say that. But then I would looking at the others scattered, and one of them stood back up and looked at me with a very serious tone. And it did send chills down my spine. Could this girl actually give me a fight? And she charged at me. Well, what she did was she put her sword in the ground and charged at me with blinding speed and caught me with a huge punch to my face, sending me to the ground. I got excited and I charged back at her, and we went fist for fist, blow for blow. I didn't even know this girl was standing up against me. She was very, very, very strong. Every kick I threw, every attack I threw was counterattacked, as my counterattacks hit her and she hit me, as the fight then came to a halt with Layatsu just pushing both of us back and telling me, and basically grabbing me by the hair or giving me a noogie or something like that, like they do in anime, basically punching me. Him and Seiyu were basically hitting me to the ground, saying, "You idiot, why are you fighting me? Why are you fighting them? They just killed the people that tortured us. You should at least be on your hands and knees thanking them." And the rest of Night Raid, well, we didn't know they were Night Raid yet, but the rest of Night Raid would be looking at us stupid, or basically scratching their head and saying, "What?" And we thought you were protecting that household. No, I just wanted to kill them because they were torturing my friends, and you just basically took that out of my grasp. I did a little pouting face, like, you know how the anime characters, when you in that specific anime and they be in the corner with these like lines of purple, or like they're in shame that they didn't get to do what they wanted to do. So with that, as we get done doing that little whole gag reference and everything, I introduced ourselves to the league, well, Night Raid, and they introduced us to them, and then they tell us we should join them. And most of Night Raid hear what Tatsumi says, saying, yeah, we were going to join the capital, and they told us about the capital, which made me decipher a new goal, that I want to become a symbol of peace for the people. I want to become hope. I want to become something they can look forward to, so they wouldn't be afraid to come out their streets. Well, come out onto the street, or come out at the night of day. Well, the light at night. I want people to be happy for once. I want to get rid of the danger beasts that lurk around here. And I also want to rid this world of its corruptions and its leaders. And with that, the first person I'm going to challenge is Esdeath. And the rest of Night Raid would be looking at me, and they would look at me with an eyebrow raised, and they say, how do you know of Esdeath? I mean, who doesn't know of her? Her impressive skill, her power, her, like, everything about her. Every asset that she's ever conquered, every town that she's ever slain, I've watched it, and I've watched her power. And I thought she was doing those for good causes. I thought she was eradicating those people for good causes, until what you told me, and then I put 2 and 2 together. I'm not a dumbass, so I know that Esdeath is evil, pretty incarnate. So I would put my, like, in that anime sense, I'm gonna say that my character deciphered 2 and 2 that Esdeath works for the Empire and she does all these heinous acts, but he thought it was good when it turns out it was nothing but a load of bullshit. And Esdeath was killing people for her own malicious intent. So with that, I devised a new goal to be a symbol of peace for the people. And that's when I would show them my tattoo and say, I'm possibly the only one in the world that probably can battle against death as death. I'm saying, what are you talking about? Well, you know how they said it was only one of its kind? Well, I've drank the blood of Rinjin Jujaku, and I've gained access to various amounts of fire. While I've only been able to master the red and orange and the blue flame, I've never came close to power like harnessing the power of my purple flames, my black flames, or the white power flames. I've never accessed those kinds. But it's also another one I do want to access, and it's green flames. It gives the user the strongest amount of healing power. I mean, I can heal or heal anyone from any damage. I haven't gained access to that power yet, but I do believe it will come sooner or later down the road. Anyway, my name's Black All Might. Well, and you can call me All Might for short. I'm not gonna really tell my name as much of sorts, but you get it. I'm not gonna just go into it until I very at least trust these people. So they know me by my alias name. Anyway, so as we go to join Night Raid, and they know that I have a strong imperial arms infused inside me. Well, strong imperial arms. Akime looks at me with these eyes, like very weird eyes, like she looks at someone, but she also smiles. I didn't know what she was smiling for, but it kind of made me blush since I do find her attractive. Anyway, without any further ado, guys, has been What If I, Black All Might, was in Akime ga Kill. Now, as far as the story references go and everything, I hope you guys really do like this particular anime or series that I'm going into, because it's a lot of things that are going to change down the road as I learn these characters' names and get everything into my further being and get into the system. As you can see, I already know their names. I know their names because I watched the anime and I learned their names, but I'm talking about in my percents, the character percents, he wants to be able to trust them enough to basically think their names is second nature to him. So, without any further ado, you guys have a good day, a good night, and you already know the deal. Plus Ultra! Good night, guys.